Hello and welcome to Hockey Time on Memory to Video Productions. I'm
Mike on the wing, centering pass, backhand score!
Go in, Scooter with it, sends it across for Kane, and it's in the net, and they have a power play goal!
The other point, big shot, right on, and the glove save! Neal having words with Campbell, and now Mario steps in there, and now all chaos breaks loose.
Faces to center right, where he is bombed by his teammates from Lemonster.
Good evening and welcome to Hockey Night at PISA, brought to you by Memory to Video Productions and sponsored by JD's Pizzeria Bar and Grill of Southington. They make great pizza and they have the largest television in the Southington area. Tonight we bring you a B-Deck game between two of the top teams in this very competitive league. The Danbury Whalers come into this game with a 3-2 record. They're 6 points good enough for second place. And the Bootleggers come into this game with a 2-1-1 record. Their 5 points puts them in third place. The winner of this game could adjust those standings in no time. And if the Whalers win, they'll have 8 points and they'll be tied for first. If the Bootleggers win, they'll move up to 7 points and they'll be in sole possession of second place. This game features some of the best offensive players in the league, and it should be very exciting from start to finish. As we have the LaChance brothers leading the Bootleggers, and on the other side, we have some great players for the Danbury Whalers as well. Offensive stars thus far for the Danbury Whalers. Robbie Knight leads the league with 9 goals, and another newcomer, John Frank, leading the league with total points of 14. So we have some great offensive stars on the Whalers going up against some great offensive stars on the Bootleggers. Second place, playoff positioning on the line as we just get ready to move into the second half of this very competitive B-Deck Hockey League here at PISA. Coming up, all the action.
So light 'em up.
Want that pro game feel? Looking to bring your game to the next level? Memory to Video Productions offers a stable of videographers and commentators to bring your ball hockey game to even greater heights. Whether it's on foot or on wheels, our broadcasts feature exciting calls and fascinating insight on all teams and players. Whether it's pre-game predictions or post-game wrap-ups, Memory to Video is your place for that professional polish. Watch your games online and relive the glory again and again, and all for a great low price. To find out more about how to get your team immortalized by MVP, contact us today at memorytovideo.com.
And here's LJ with it, and Benson with an opportunity as he walks straight in. It's him against Brittany Caruso, and he does it! What a goal! By Kyle Benson!
We are just about ready to get underway here at Hockey Night at PISA, brought to you by Memory to Video Productions and sponsored by JD's Pizzeria Bar and Grill of Southington. They make great pizza and they have the largest television in the Southington area. Bootleggers in red, Whalers in green, Pete Mallett getting ready to drop the ball, and we are underway. Should be an exciting game. Talented players on both squads. We'll see how either team gets off to a start here. Nick LaChance on the left side. He's one of the guys you'll be listening for on the Bootleggers. Ball comes all the way down to the defensive end. Corey Hirth controlling it here for the Bootleggers. He's getting a little pressure from Robbie Knight, who, as we mentioned in the pregame, is one of the leading scorers in this league. In fact, he is the leading scorer in the league with 9 goals. Ball goes up into the net, stoppage of play just 30 seconds in. No score yet. Neither team really making a push towards the goal. And so we'll have a face-off just on the other side of the red line, across from the benches. LeChance steps up to take it for the Bootleggers. Ball squirts out to the left where it's controlled by the Whalers. Whalers pushing it forward on the far side. Ball's thrown back just over the blue line. Both teams kind of playing ping pong with it. Now we got the Whalers inside. Shot on goal, save and controlled by Benny Stevens. He's got an 89% save percentage. And he was ready for that one as a quick shot by the Whalers. Looked to me like John O'Brien had a chance. But Benny Stevens was ready. Quick one-timer, saved by Stevens, his first save of the game. Face-off now on the defensive end to Stevens' left. Ball's forced over there towards the goal, goes all the way to the other side. John Frank's got it now. John Frank with a little move, sends the ball across the front of the goal. Quick turnaround shot again. John O'Brien now's gotten two good quick shots off. This one off the mark, pops up into the screen. And again, we're going to be back to a face-off, this time in front of the benches, right by the red line. Teams haven't really gotten started yet. They're still kind of walking around, getting ready for the face-off. We'll see what happens. We're just 59 seconds in to what will prove to be a very important game in playoff seedings for this competitive conference. Shot on goal just wide. Big rip there by John Frank. As we mentioned, he leads the league in points. That time he couldn't get his quick shot on the goal. Now the Bootleggers putting a little pressure in front. Great play by Sam Leonardo, a former Bootlegger, mind you. Took that ball behind the goal and controlled it. He sent it all the way up the end. We got no icing going to be called there. Joey Delgado runs it down behind the goal. He sends it across to Corey Hirth, who gets it back to Delgado. Now he crossed floor pass off the mark, and the Whalers control deep in their own territory. Now pass up front. It's going to be a 2-on-1. We've got a Herlihy to his right. LeChance, quick shot off the post. Herlihy rebound, deflected nicely by John Marak. Little pressure now on the side. LeChance, they don't want to give him much room to turn around and fire. He's being pressured behind the goal by Sam Leonardo. Leonardo, again, the former Bootlegger, knows all about LeChance. Now it's being controlled behind the goal by Herlihy. And it's turned over behind the goal. Robbie Knipe runs it down. Knipe looking for a teammate breaking up the floor. Good pressure applied by Corey Hirth. But the Whalers will walk it up on the far side. Still in their defensive end, trying to get out of the zone. Nice play there. Quick shot by the blue line. That didn't have much on it. And Stevens pokes it wide. But he poked it right to a streaking John Frank. And John Frank knocks it home. John Frank with a big goal there. It was a save by Stevens on not much of a shot, but he pushed it out to the side, and John Frank, hustling down the floor, was able to get a nice wrist shot on the rebound and blast it by Stevens for a 1-0 lead. 7:31 to go in the first period, and it's the Danbury Whalers who strike first. A ripper by John Frank, and it's 1-0 Whalers. We're now back in play. Whalers controlled the face-off but lost it. There's a turnover by John Dietzel, controlled now by the Whalers middle of the floor. Sends it up where Gary Vacchio's got it. This one gets poked all the way down to the Whalers' end. Bootleggers hustling down to play it. Darren Maudsley got to it first. This is the grind line for the Bootleggers. These guys don't have the flashy stick skills or quick shots of the LeChance line, but they grind it out, make plays, and give themselves opportunities to score. It's Mora, Maudsley, and Insero out there for the Bootleggers. Whalers turn in front of their bench. Playing around with it is Mike Frank, John's father. Now it's controlled by Robbie Knipe. Robbie tries to push it up the bench side where it's lost, but he gets it right back as Vacchio sent it right back to him. Ball makes it all the way in front of the goal where Benny Stevens picks it up with the glove hand. Stoppage of play. We'll have a face-off just to the left of Stevens. 6:30 to go in period number 1. Danbury Whalers off to a nice start, 1-0, kind of bringing the action. Nick LeChance right in front of us here taking the face-off. He pushes it to the side. There's a rip. What a hard shot there by Chris DeFrancisco. Rebound pushed off to the side again, and a quick shot almost snuck in the goal. Benny Stevens covered it up, or it would have been another goal for John Frank. Face off now to the right of Stevens. It'll be Frank against LaChance. Ball is dropped, pushed back. Now LaChance has it, but again, Frank's putting some pressure on him. The Whalers control. Quick shot there. That Stevens got a piece of that. It was on goal. Delgado sends it up the boards, and it's dumped back into the corner. Great play there by the Whalers. Tracked down nicely. Quick shot saved by Stevens. Rebound saved by Stevens. The Danbury Whalers are putting a lot of pressure on Benny Stevens already in this period. We're not even halfway through. Whalers dominating play, looking for another one. Robbie Knipes got it behind. He's played by Corey Hurth. Delgado comes over to double him. Ball gets pushed towards the goal where Stevens covers it up. The Whalers taking some great shots. Stevens able to poke away most of them. Just one is broken the ice and given the Whalers this 1-0 lead. Face off now to the left of Benny Stevens. Again, it's Nick LaChance taking it for the Bootleggers. Ball is dropped, seemed to be won there again by Robbie Knipe. He pushed it back to his teammate. Now we've got John Frank with the ball. Frank's shot going for the far corner on a low angle shot. Just missed. Poked back in nicely by Sam Leonardo. Dumped behind the goal where the Whalers are waiting to set things up. Whalers got another card shot right into the chest of Stevens. So he was ready to play as John Frank looked for goal number 2. In fact, Stevens may have lost that one under his shirt. Quick, hard shot. Stevens, a big man, though, had the post side covered. 5:18 to go in period number 1. It's been all Whalers here in the last few minutes. The floor seems a little tilted towards the Whalers' offensive end. Another face-off won by the Whalers. Quick shot there, just wide. Rebound just wide. John O'Brien waiting right there on the doorstep. Had an opportunity. His quick shot at the rebound didn't quite make it. They knock it down again. They're going to call a hand pass. Interesting play as they try to knock down the clearing pass. John O'Brien got his glove on it, and they call it a hand pass. So a stoppage of play. We'll have a face-off right in front of the benches, just on the Danbury Whalers side of the red line. Darren Maudsley stepping up to take the face-off for the Bootleggers, as once again the grind line is on there for the Bootleggers, trying to tie things up. There was a full swing. They didn't call that a pass, and this one pops all the way up right next to us. There we go. Had to retrieve the ball, or the game would not have continued. We don't get too many foul balls up this way, but we got one there. Neither one of us were making any attempt to catch it. So now we'll have a face-off just to the right of Benny Stevens. Again, it's Maudsley taking the face for the Bootleggers. That time the pass bounces off the Whalers' Mike Frank, and now it's back in play. The Bootleggers streaking up the side. Couldn't quite get a shot off. Darren Maudsley tried to split the defense. Made a nice run, but couldn't get it. Great hustle there again by Mike Frank as his pass went through the middle and went all the way down the far end. Sam Leonardo tracks it down for the Whalers, but now the Bootleggers putting on some pressure. The grind lines definitely doing their work. They just picked up the pace already. Definitely brought a little energy onto the floor, and the Bootleggers applying a lot of pressure in the defensive end of the Whalers. Quick turnover there, and again a quick shot turnaround controlled by the Whalers. That's John Marak. John Marak passes it across in the back to former Bootlegger Sam Leonardo. And now they dump it down into the offensive end. Long run here. Bootleggers trying to clear it out. John Dietzel, he loses it though, and here comes that goal scorer. Watch this, it's John Frank trying to blast it home. But again, Stevens takes up a lot of space in goal, and he covered that one up nicely. And we'll have another stoppage of play. 3:46 to go, period number 1. Danbury Whalers 1, the Bootleggers nothing. If you had forgotten, this is the second time these teams have met already this season. The Whalers won a close one 4-3 in the season opener for both teams. So if the Bootleggers can pull off their second victory of the season against the Danbury Whalers, that certainly will come in handy when we start talking about playoff positioning. LaChance turns around and fires one to the side of the goal, goes in the back. Chance has got it again. This time he throws it in front. Remember, there's two of them. There's Nick LaChance, there's Nate LaChance. Nate's actually wearing number 61 tonight. Now we've got the Whalers passing it back in their defensive end. They turn it over. Delgado pushing the action on the far side. The ball sneaks by him. And Mike Frank trying to get an opportunity here. A lot of sticks banging into each other over there, trying to control the ball. This time, ball comes all the way around. Quick turnaround shot by Nate LaChance. Just wide, couldn't get it in there. Here come the Whalers up the left side. We would have had an offsides. Ball went back towards the Bootleggers offensive end, so they let it go. Quick shot there, big pile up in front. Sean Herlihy got the shot off. The ball's kind of loose now, comes all the way down. We're going to have an icing now. So an icing on the play stops the clock. 2:31 to go in period number one. It was the grind line that picked up the pace for the Bootleggers, and now the line of LaChance and Herlihy are kind of feeding off of them and playing a little harder right now themselves. Face-off will be to the left of Herm Sorcher. He hasn't had to make too many saves yet today, but we'll see. Here we go. Ball is dropped and it's in play. Pushed forward nicely. Quick shot on goal. Sorcher there gets some action as Nick LaChance won the face-off, pushed it forward. It almost had enough time to get something on it, but Sorcher was there to cover it up. So just 4 seconds later, we'll have another face-off in the same spot. LaChance tries the same move. This time he gets a shot off, and Sorcher's there to save it. And the Whalers control the rebound, but it's stolen away nicely by Nate LaChance. Nate's rush to the goal is poked aside. LaChance brothers creating havoc back there behind the goal, but the Whalers poke it away. And this is going to be Chris DiFrancisco controlling it for the Whalers. He now leaves it back for his defensive mate. DiFrancisco overruns that ball, tries to poke it forward up the bench side, but Nate LaChance is creating too many problems. He sends it back across the floor where now the Bootleggers are racing for it. And here we go, trying to clear the ball down the other end. Mike Villot deflected it off of a Bootlegger, and we have a stoppage of play at 1:48 to play in the first. The grind line coming back out for the Bootleggers. Face-off will be just on the Bootleggers' defensive side of the red line. 1:48 to play, period number one. 1-0 lead for the Danbury Whalers. Definitely an important game for both squads. More of a must-win for the Danbury Whalers as they've already lost to the two teams closest to them in the standings. The Hartford Whalers, currently in first place, beat these Danbury Whalers, and the Bootleggers, as we mentioned, won game number one of the season in a close one, 4-3. Ball rolling around behind the Whalers' goal. Sam Leonardo chasing it down. He's the former Bootlegger. I'm sure he would like to at least have a split with his former team in this period. The long pass just off the mark, and we'll have another stoppage of play for an icing call. So they gather up the ball. Jeff Meggs picks it up. He'll walk down the other end of the floor. Actually toss it to Pete Malik, who will drop it to get us back into play. 1:10 to go, period number one. Whalers in the lead. They controlled probably the 3 or 4 minutes there in the middle. Last minute or so, the Bootleggers putting on a lot of pressure, but not many shots actually making it all the way to the goal. Whalers now in front of their bench, trying to clear it. That's John Marak. He sent it across behind the goal. That clearing pass gets deflected. Would have been a nice, easy goal there. How about this play? Robbie Knipe tried to knock it down with his hand. He then dropped his stick, so he couldn't keep playing the ball. Little end-to-end action now. Everybody's kind of running around frantically. Robbie Knipe's shot bounces off the boards. Quick turnaround. Couldn't get much on it as Benny Stevens had trouble getting up. Benny Stevens got knocked over, had trouble regaining his footing. The ball was still in play. Whalers couldn't get a shot on goal. And then we simply had a long clearing pass by the Bootleggers. They were ready to take the icing just to settle things down. So 35 seconds to go, period number 1, face-off to the right of Stevens. Ball is dropped again. It was LaChance versus Frank. This time Nate LaChance running the ball down. His backhand shot. He got up. Great shot there as he's running away from the goal. Just kind of swung back at it and put that thing towards the goal. Again, LaChance brothers have opportunities in front, but they're under pressure all the time. Now we get a deflection. John Frank went over there to put a little pressure on Nate LaChance, make sure he didn't get a shot off. Deflection went up into the rafters. As a result, we'll walk back. Another face-off by the red line. 16 seconds to play in period number 1. Only goal of the game scored by John Frank. Came after a save by Stevens. Long rebound. There's a long shot taken by Nate LaChance. Got a lot on it, but it was wide. And now the Whalers with 6 seconds to play in period number 1. See if they get another chance. Another rebound. That's similar to the one that was scored on the other side. Stevens, however, is there ready to make the save. So period number 1 ends with the score. The Danbury Whalers 1, the Bootleggers nothing. Period number 1 ends with the Danbury Whalers in the lead, 1-0. They dominated play for much of the first period, got off 14 shots on goal. The Bootleggers managed 8 shots, but couldn't really get an opportunity to get one by the Danbury Whalers goalie. Interesting game so far, close as expected. Remember, game 1 between these two teams ended for a 4-3 winner for the Bootleggers. Now we've got 1 period in the book. We're getting ready for period number 2. Delgado having a little conference with Nate LaChance. Then he returns to his spot. Now we get a chance to see Herm Sorcher down this end. Sorcher made all 8 saves in period number 1. Ball is dropped and we're underway. Period number 2 of this B-deck game between 2 of the top teams in the league. Had a little run there by Nate LaChance. He got all tangled up with some Whaler defenders. Delgado now passing it back and forth. Put a lot of pressure there by John Frank. He actually steals the ball, gets an opportunity to score. His chance in front goes wide. Delgado tracks it down. He tries to pass it forward. Here we got a little break. But again, a great defensive play there by the Whalers. They're not giving any opportunities up there. Great play by John Marak as he got back on defense. Now we got a quick shot there by Frank, save by Benny Stevens. Delgado has it now in the corner. Delgado's clearing pass knocked down. It's going to be controlled by the Whalers. That's John Frank with it. Remember, John Frank leads the league in points, and he's got another one tonight with the goal. Delgado behind the goal. He sends it across again, where it's going to be played there by Corey Hirth. Hirth and Delgado having a little trouble getting the ball out of their defensive end as we start period 2. Hirth's got it again, bounces it up the boards, where it's going to be taken back nicely by Sam Leonardo, who dumps it back down in the end. Hirth now trying to run it out. Hirth gains the blue line and now dumps it forward. Herm Sorcher actually plays it and leaves it there, but it's taken away there. Nice steal. Shot. Save by Great save by Sorcher. As we had an opportunity for Hurley. Hard rip there, save. Great save by Sorcher. Ball's punched up the far side where Delgado's got it. Tipped away there. Getting all the way back. Great shot in front now. Great opportunity for Robbie Knipe. Remember, he leads the league with goals. He was right on the doorstep. Couldn't really get much on the shot as Benny Stevens was able to cover it up. So a little more end-to-end action as the Bootleggers are trying desperately to tie this thing up. We had a rip by LaChance, saved by Sorcher, then it was cleared, and we had an opportunity down the other end for Robbie Knipe, the leading goal scorer in the league. Great face-off there, pushed forward by John Frank. Turnaround rip there, it goes just wide. That was Mike Velo getting a quick shot off, chasing it down on the far side. Now the Whalers have it, far side of the field at the goal line. Little pressure there. Not much room back there to kind of operate. Ball's deflected. John Frank gets it. He turns and fires just wide. Ball's pushed forward there nicely. Defended by the Bootleggers. That ball's tipped in front. Will actually be on goal. Herm Sorcher comes out and stops it. And he leaves it for Sam Leonardo. Leonardo passes it behind the goal where it's going to be played by Chris DeFrancisco. DeFrancisco runs into a little pressure. Nice pass. Shot wide. Rebound just wide. Great play there. Darren Maudsley, great pass. Between his legs, put it right on his stick, and it just went wide. So the grind line of Merida, Maudsley, and Cerro had an opportunity, couldn't put it on cage. And Cerro went to run. Great pass by Maudsley between his legs, just couldn't put the shot on goal. So we have a stoppage of play as the ball went up into the rafters. Face-off will be just to the right of Herm Sorcher. Herm's off to a great start, stopping everything coming his way. Stepping up John O'Brien to take the face for the Danbury Whalers. Ball is controlled nicely by Mike Velo. He pushes it forward and he'll outrun everybody. And he'll let his teammate, Robbie Knipe, control it in the corner. Robbie Knipe trying to drive. We're going to get a penalty here. It's going to be the first penalty of the game. Going to call Gary Vacchio for a little interference. Robbie Knipe tried to push the ball along the boards behind the goal. Gary Vacchio, they say, wasn't playing the ball any longer. He jammed Robbie Knipe into the boards. As a result, we'll have a penalty. Remember, this power play is brought to you by Play It Again Sports. So at the 6:53 mark in the second period, the Danbury Whalers have a 1-0 lead, and now they'll have a one-man advantage. Power play brought to you by Play It Again Sports, and we're underway. Face-off is won by the Danbury Whalers. Leonardo steps up, cranks it up, and scores. What a great shot. Sam Leonardo, the former bootlegger, gets the power play goal, and it's now 2-0 Danbury Whalers. Big shot there. Sam Leonardo right off the face. Had some room, he walked it in, he simply put it in the far upper corner. Great shot over the glove side of Benny Stevens. Another face-off, won again by John Frank. And the Whalers are down their offensive end again. Power play goal by the Danbury Whalers increases their lead to 2-0. Here come the Bootleggers trying to get something started. Nate LaChance poked it forward, didn't get it. John Marek sends it across the floor nicely to Chris DeFrancisco. Bootleggers just haven't gotten much going here. This is the big line that they hope to get some goals from. LaChance, and Herlihy. But they haven't been able to generate too much. Now they've got a little bit of a 3-on-2, taking their time. Herlihy up the left side. His shot goes wide. It was deflected into the screen. Let's see where they have the face-off. They're going to have the face-off just to the left of Sorcher as he got something on that. Tipping the ball up back into the net, protecting the scoreboard. So a stoppage of play, 5:51 to go. Period number 2. It's the Danbury Whalers 2, the Bootleggers nothing. Refs are going to discuss where they're going to have this face-off. I definitely thought the ball was deflected by Sorcher into the net. We'll find out what happens. Jeff Meggs walking back with the ball, and it looks like he's going to drop the ball just to the left of Herm Sorcher. John Frank taking the face-off for the Whalers. He's won a large number of the face-offs. He wins it again and pushes it out wide. Robbie Knipe streaking up the right side. That was a great play right off the face. As John Frank won the face-off, pushes it out to Robbie Knipe, who had a nice opportunity up the far side. His quick shot was covered up nicely by Benny Stevens. So we have another stoppage of play. 5:43 to go, period number 2. Face-off this time to the left of Benny Stevens. Nice play there, controlled in front by the Whalers. Sam Leonardo, quick turnaround shot. He knew he had some people in the way of Benny Stevens, so he sent it towards the goal. Almost got an opportunity out of it. Great shot there in front, deflected away. And now here come the Bootleggers trying to get something generated, but the Danbury Whalers defense just preventing the Bootleggers from getting much room, getting in any type of run. Now they're trying to clear it out of their end. That's Sam Leonardo. Leonardo has the second goal of the game, the only goal of this second period. Here come the Bootleggers. Again, not much on it. We're going to get a push there. There'll be another penalty. It's going to be a penalty here. Tough call here, but it's going to be Steve Mara, who's going to be in the penalty box for another minute and a half. Well, it's going to be another opportunity for the Danbury Whalers. Another power play brought to you by Play It Again Sports. Don't know if they called that charging or boarding, but regardless of what they called it, it'll be a penalty for a minute, and the Danbury Whalers will be on their second power play of the game. This power play brought to you by Play It Again Sports. The Danbury Whalers 1 for 1 on the power play so far tonight. This is their second opportunity. Again, the face-off won by Frank. We've said that a lot tonight. Here comes the first rip of the power play, just wide. Didn't really think Benny Stevens saw that. Danbury Whalers now playing with it behind the goal. John O'Brien takes it down. He sends it back out top to DeFrancisco. That shot is wide, comes all the way around to Leonardo. Sam Leonardo now gets the center of the floor, passes it forward. DeFrancisco lines it up. That shot wide. Chased down by Mike Villot. Mike Villot sends it behind the goal. That's where Frank's playing with it. That shot passed back up front just off the stick of John O'Brien. But the Whalers control. Finally getting some chances here. Spread people out. Turnaround, quick shot there. Just wide. Ooh, we almost had a penalty there on the Whalers. Play continues, though. It looked like Nate Chance was going to have a chance to run that ball out and get an opportunity to score. A quick grab may have prevented that from taking place. Referees didn't see it or didn't make the call. So it turns out to be pretty good defensive play by John O'Brien. Anyway, we have a stoppage of play, 2-0. Teams are at full strength. And there's 3:50 to go in period number 2. John Frank steps up for the face-off again. This time it looked like it was won by Nick LaChance. LaChance sends it forward, and we're going to call... Icing is going to be called, even though a great effort by Nate LaChance. Full-out dive, trying to prevent that ball from crossing the goal line. But to no avail. The icing brings it all the way back down the other end, where we'll have another face-off. Benny Stevens, facing an awful lot of shots, now has another face-off coming up just to his left. LaChance against Frank. This time it's controlled by Frank himself. That quick shot almost tipped in as the Whalers had a player right there on the doorstep. And now we're going to have another penalty. This time it's going to be interference on the Danbury Whalers. Tough call there. Sam Leonardo, the former bootlegger, turned and got right in the way as Sean Herlihy was running up the side just in front of the Bootleggers bench. So to try to keep things even, referees send the Danbury Whalers into the box for a minute. So we'll have the first power play of the game for the Bootleggers. They haven't got much offense started. Let's see if they got it here. This power play brought to you by Play It Again Sports. Face-off controlled by the Whalers. DiFrancesco sends it all the way up the other end of the floor. Clearing the ball. Again, no icing with the power play situation. This time there will be icing. Obviously, the team with the extra man can't ice the ball. So the Bootleggers pass goes all the way down, crosses the goal line where we have an icing and a stoppage of play. 43 seconds left in this power play, brought to you by Play It Again Sports. Face off down in the Bootleggers defensive end, again just to the left of Benny Stevens. 2-0 Danbury Whalers, 3:10 to go in the period, 43 seconds on the power play. This time the Bootleggers win the faceoff. It's Herlihy in front of his own bench. He gains the blue line, but a great defensive play by Robbie Knight. Herlihy was getting ready to crank that up. Robbie Knight poked it away from his stick. Now we've got it. Herlihy's got it again, this time in front of the Whalers bench. He sends it across the floor. Nobody home. It's going to be tracked down by John Marak. John Marak taking his time, letting the penalty clock run out. 15 seconds to go on the penalty. The Whalers will again clear the ball all the way down. DiFrancesco this time sends it all the way down. John Frank just kind of chipped it towards the goal where it was caught by Benny Stevens. 9 seconds left in this power play, brought to you by Play It Again Sports. Not many opportunities for the Bootleggers to score. 2:35 in the period, 2-0 lead in a game that has been dominated by the Danbury Whalers. Frank on the faceoff again against LaChance. Ball is dropped, tied up. This time it's won by the Bootleggers. Bootleggers bringing it up, almost passed it right to the Danbury Whaler. As a result, no opportunity there for the Bootleggers as the teams are at full strength. Now we've got Nate LaChance running it down. Ball's in the corner. We got a little contact going over there. DiFrancesco and LaChance roughing it up. Quick shot there. In front, doesn't make it all the way to the goal. Penalty coming up again against the Bootleggers. This time it's going to be a cross check. Looks like it's going to be against Nate LaChance. Nate LaChance is trying to get position in front of the goal. He was getting roughed up a little bit. Tried to push people out of the way, give him a little cross check to the check. Cross check to the back. Nate LaChance in the penalty box for a minute. Cross check. 2:02 to go. This will be the third power play for the Danbury Whalers and the third of this period. This time face-off won by the Bootleggers and pushed forward. Horn Searcher comes out to cover that up. So just 4 seconds into this power play, brought to you by Play It Again Sports. We'll have a stoppage of play and a face-off, this time deep in the Danbury Whalers end, just to the right of goalie Herm Searcher. Frank stepping up to take the face-off for the Whalers. He's won a vast majority of those face-offs tonight, and they control this one as well. Great job by Frank. As he pushes it up the bench side, Delgado's got it, sends it right back, but Frank's right there. Did clear the zone, so they gain a couple seconds. There's a rip by Mike Below. Stopped, and now comes all the way down the end, so trying to regroup here, the Whalers. Robbie Knipes got it. Knipes sends it across the floor to Sam Leonardo. Sam Leonardo, nice move off the boards. He makes a run towards the corner. Ball's deflected, whiffed once, and the Whalers control. Whalers could get an opportunity here. Turn and a rip just over the crossbar. Nice shot by Mike Below. Ball in front. Frank had an opportunity. Nick LaChance just pressured him enough to get the shot off the goal. Trying to make a run up the side there. Knocked down nicely by either a Danbury Whaler on the floor or a Danbury Whaler in the bench. Whalers trying to control things. We're now even. Nick LaChance and Nate LaChance both on the floor together. Delgado pressuring the Whalers in the corner. Oh, there's somebody dives on it there. That was Darren Maudsley diving on it. We've got a little bit of a mixed line going on out here. Darren Maudsley is out there with the LaChance brothers. Pressure in front. No idea where the ball is as Stevens was sprawled out on his back as the ball went in front of the face of the goal. Loose ball there, long run. Who's going to get there first? Almost a great run by Nate LaChance, but a great effort by Frank to dive and knock the ball away. LaChance just can't get around DiFrancesco on the defense of the Whalers. Hard shot there, great save by Stevens. Great run by Sam Leonardo. He was looking for his second goal of the game against his former squad. He ripped it, but Benny Stevens was there to make the save and cover up. So we have a stoppage of play with 12 seconds to go here in period number 2. Face-off will be just to the left of Benny Stevens. This time it'll be Robbie Knipe, it looks like, stepping up to take the face-off for the Danbury Whalers. Robbie Knipe, fairly quiet today. He's got 9 goals on the season, leading the league. Face-off this time won by LaChance. LaChance running around with the ball in his defensive end. Great steal and a goal! Robbie Knipe, unbelievable. He lost the face-off, but he didn't give up. He pressured Nick LaChance all the way across the floor, stole the ball from him, turned around, and put it by Benny Stevens for a big 3-goal lead for the Danbury Whalers. Great play by Robbie Knipe. His 10th goal of the season gives the Danbury Whalers a big 3-0 lead. Only 4 seconds left in the period. Critical mistake there by the Bootleggers, and the result is going to be a huge hill to try to climb out of here in period number 3. Second period ends with the Danbury Whalers leading 3-0. Well, the second period seemed to be more of the first as the Danbury Whalers dominated play. They didn't dominate quite as much as they did in the first, but they outshot the Bootleggers again in this period, and pretty easy to see why. They've got a 3-0 lead. Robbie Knipe, great effort in the last 10 seconds of the period. Lost the face-off, but stayed on Nick LaChance. His back check lifted the stick off the ball. He gained control. He turned and fired and got it by Stevens to give a huge 3-0 lead to the Danbury Whalers. Sam Leonardo scored first in the second period to give his new squad a 2-0 lead. You see, Leonardo played with these Bootleggers previously. This year, he's with the Danbury Whalers, and he's contributed nicely to this 3-0 lead by scoring goal number 2. Period number 3 coming up. It's the Whalers 3 and the Bootleggers nothing.
Having Robbie come back, having him healthy, is an unbelievable, unbelievable addition to any team. I mean, the guy is, no question, one of the 5 best players that I've ever played with. He's probably one of the 2 best players in the league. Probably even, I'm willing to go and say he is the best player in that league. But having Robbie back, having him healthy, he's amazing. He can create offense out of any situation. He can take a team on, by himself. He doesn't even need anyone to feed him the ball. He can create it all. He's probably the most pinpoint, precise shooter I've ever seen. He's an unbelievable talent. The other guy we added in was John Frank, coming over from the Crusaders. John, I think, is probably the number 1 or number 2 player in the league. He's got so much ability, so much knowledge of the game. He understands what needs to be done, what the situation is. Phenomenal team player. Having those 2 guys together, I think they're worth 4 goals a game. 2 each, or 3-1, or 4-0, whatever it is. They're worth 4 goals a game. So then it's up to us as a defense and me and as a goalie, just to maintain. Hey, can we keep this 4 and under? And that's really been our goal. So we've, those 2 guys playing for us give our team a great advantage.
Shots on goal in the second period, 16 for the Whalers, 11 for the Bootleggers. That gives the Whalers a total of 30, the Bootleggers only 19. That one's pushed forward towards the goal by Gary Vacchio, but covered up easily by Sorcher. And here come the Whalers. We'll have to see what happens today. if period number 3 can be magical for the Bootleggers, or if this game goes the way it has so far in the first 2 periods. Early stages of period number 3. So far, nothing seems to have changed. John Dietzel trying to bring it up. Ball's kept in play nicely by Chris DiFrancesco, pushed forward towards the goal. Stevens just pushes it to the side. Pressure over here, Mike Below against John Dietzel. This time the Whalers get a quick shot deflected by Dietzel. Goes to the corner where Vacchio's going to chase it down. Vacchio pushes it up the boards, and now we'll have a little bit of a break here. Insero up the right side. Had a little break there with Steve Mayer on his left. Great pass by Insero. Mera's shot saved by Sorcher, and he holds on for a stoppage of play. 9:01 left in period number 3. It's a game that's been dominated by the Whalers. They lead 3-0. Face-off will be just to the right of goalie Herm Sorcher. Herm mentioned in an interview before the game that his 2 newcomers, Robbie Knight and John Frank, have added an awful lot to their offense. They've scored 2 of the 3 goals tonight, and that's why they are the leaders in the league in points and goals scored. Whalers now controlling the ball on the far side. Ball's poked back towards the defensive end. Leonardo runs it down, puts a nice move on behind the goal and bounces it up the boards. Great pass there to Robbie Knight, who dumps it forward. Leonardo chases it down. He's met by Nate LaChance. Now we got Joey Delgado pushing it up the right side. Delgado's going to have a chance here. Delgado's shot. Covered up by Sorcher, but it was still loose. Delgado didn't really get a shot in there. It seemed like he was going to try to run it right into the goal. Ripper of a slap shot from beyond the red line. Goes wide. Tracked down there nicely by Corey Hort. How about that? Stevens didn't see that one either, as Robbie Knight tried to backhand it. Didn't get much shot. It was more of a changeup and a deflection. Landed almost right in front of Benny Stevens. 8:04 to play in the 3rd period. Robbie Knight, John Frank, 2 of the Danbury Whalers have played a huge part in this game. John Frank has simply won almost every faceoff, and he leads the league in points. He scored another goal tonight. Robbie Knight, the leading goal scorer in the league, has a goal tonight as well. 8:03 to go in period number 3. 3 for the Whalers, none for the Bootleggers. Face off, 1 backwards by the Bootleggers. Now they got to play it out of their defensive end, and they're going to have some trouble clearing it again. Great centering pass there by Mike Frank. Just off the mark, goes all the way through. And now we're going to have a penalty called on John Marek. I did not see that, but obviously referee Jeff Meggs did. Interference called on John Marek. So we'll have a power play brought to you by Play It Again Sports for the Bootleggers. This will be the 2nd power play for the Bootleggers tonight. The first one, they didn't get many opportunities. On many occasions, Herm Sorcher has challenged Nick LaChance to shoot it more, to keep playing hard, to challenge him.
Nick is, I tell you what, he is such a talent. He's got so much ability. We've had a couple times where the Danbury Whalers have been on the short end of some serious blowouts where it's like 5, 6, 7 goals, and he's come in, and as a goalie, I want to be challenged all the time. I want to face the best in the league. And he'll come in and he'll just like throw the puck to the corner. I'm like, come on, man, give me your best all the time. If you can beat me for 5 goals or a hat trick or whatever it is, do it. I want your best all the time. So whatever the score is, I want everybody to play hard all the time.
Well, Herm Sorcher wants to face the best. Well, so far tonight, not much has happened as the LaChance brothers have been kept quiet by a great defensive effort by the Danbury Whalers. Face off, and the ball is pushed forward back to the defensive side for the Bootleggers. Bootleggers now have lost control of it again, and the Whalers playing around within their defensive end, and now they try to clear it. Ball sent up into the Whalers bench area. So now we'll have a stoppage of play and a face-off. Now down in the Bootleggers offensive side of the floor. Herm Sorcher trying to hold on to this shutout. 7:34 to play in the period, 44 seconds on this power play. Darren Maudsley taking the face-off. Let's see if the grind line can grind out a tough goal here for the Bootleggers. Maudsley wins the face, pushes it forward. Little combination as we've got LeChance brothers on this line as well, but the ball squirts back out and is controlled by the Whalers again. Robbie Knight had a chance for a shorthanded goal, just pushed it wide. Opportunity again, shot on goal this time. Stevens has to be on his toes to deflect that one to the corner. 20 seconds left in the Bootleggers power play. Right now we've had 3 shots on goal by the Whalers. I don't know if we've had a shot on goal by the Bootleggers. Shot again deflected, this time up into the rafters. They're not letting anything get to Sorcher. There's only 7 seconds left in this power play, brought to you by Play It Again Sports, and we've had more shots by the Danbury Whalers than we've had by the Bootleggers. 6:57 to play in period number 3. It's been that kind of night for both of these squads. Must-win situation for the Danbury Whalers, as they had already lost to the teams on either side of them in the standings. That was an interesting play. As the ball went up into the rafters, Stevens lost sight of it. It actually bounced behind him, but just went wide of the goal. Ball pushed down the far end now. Great hustle by DeFrancisco to chase it down. Sam Leonardo bounces it up the boards, where now it looks like Nick LeChance trying to turn, couldn't get anything off. Here comes Frank. Frank's shot on goal, saved by Stevens. Rebound, however, controlled by Maroc. Maroc in the corner being defended by Delgado. Frank's now got it behind the goal. Double team nicely by Delgado. And now here comes Corey Hurth. Hurth pushes it across the other floor. Herlihy's got it. Nice move by Herlihy to get by and get it deep into the corner. Herlihy now looking to come back in front of the goal. He's got a little space. Tried to force it in front, but knocked down by Leonardo. Leonardo has played a very solid defensive game for the Whalers. Probably motivated to beat his old squad as he gets into the way of that Nick LeChance chant. There we go, ball pushed up the board. Delgado fans on it. He's being chased down. A lot of pressure there by John Maroc, but the young legs of Joey Delgado get to the ball first. He turns around and fires it back up the floor. Quick shot on goal by Frank. Pops out. The players had stopped, hoping that there was going to be an offsides. John Frank did not stop. He shot it. Saved nicely by Stevens. Play continued. That shot by Nick LeChance, poked away nicely by Herm Sorcher. He just stuck his elbow out. May have gone wide anyway, but he stopped it. We've got a combination of lines right now for the Bootleggers. They're trying to mix and match and get something started on offense. This doesn't look like it's going to be happening. We're under the 5-minute mark, and this game has been dominated by the Danbury Whalers. Shots on goal, huge edge to the Danbury Whalers. Generating play, dominated by the Whalers. Power play opportunities, 3-2 now. But remember, the Whalers had more shots on the Bootleggers last power play than they did. Whalers gain the red line again. That ball's deflected nicely off the foot of John Dietzel. So it's just sent down into the Bootleggers' defensive side. Dietzel now sends it forward, but it'll be tracked down by DeFrancisco. He throws it aside to John O'Brien, who dumps it forward. Ball's not going to make it past the goal line, so no hopes of an icing. Under the 4-minute mark now, and we don't think we're going to see much of a push here by the Bootleggers. Anything can happen in a short period of time here in B-Deck hockey, but this game has been thoroughly dominated by the Whalers. Ball went all the way through as it got past John Maroc. He kind of didn't believe that it got by him, but he chased it down anyway, and now the Whalers trying to make a push. Nice defensive play again by Dietzel. Sends it back on the offensive end for the Bootleggers. But there, John O'Brien gains control, and he dumps it forward. Great hustle, again, by Mike Velo. And the Whalers are going to have possession here as we get closer and closer to the 3-minute mark. That's Robbie Knight pushing it behind. Velo this time dumps it back into the corner. Almost like a four corners offense here for the Whalers, as they like to see that clock tick away. Precious seconds vanishing on what hopes to have been a Bootleggers comeback. Great turnaround shot there and a goal. Mike Velo sends this one by the short side of Stevens. He left a little bit too much room on the short side. So at 2:59 here to go in the third period, it's now 4-0 Whalers. And suffice it to say that this game is over. The Whalers are going to move to 4-2. They're points, which will put them tied for first points-wise with the Hartford Whalers. The Hartford Whalers will, however, have a game in hand, meaning that they've played one less game than the Danbury Whalers. But this will turn out to be a huge win for the Whalers. By pushing their record up to 4-2, they will certainly give themselves a great opportunity to finish in the top half of the league for the playoffs, and they even their season record with the Bootleggers, winning by a wider margin. So if goal differential is the deciding tiebreaker between these two teams, the Danbury Whalers will have won by a wider margin than the Bootleggers. Bootleggers again beat the Danbury Whalers by 1 goal opening game of the season. It was a 4-3 win for the Bootleggers. We have just 2:59 to go, and it's 4-0 Danbury Whalers. A somewhat dejected Bootleggers squad coming out on the floor. They're trying to discuss their best options to generate some offense. So believe it or not, they're going to pull Benny Stevens with 3 minutes to go in the game. Benny Stevens comes out so that we have, well, not an extra skater in this case, but an extra runner, I guess, for the Bootleggers. But we'll have a face-off here ready to go. Stepping up to take it is Darren Maudsley for the Bootleggers. He's got the LaChances out there with him. He's got Hurley out there with him. And he's got Corey Hirth out there with him. Bootleggers push it forward to their offensive end. But this one, a lot of noise down the far end, not much happening. But now here come the Danbury Whalers. They dump it forward. Great defensive play there by John Dietzel. Remember, there's no goalie anymore for the Bootleggers. That shot on goal by Nick LaChance, gloved nicely by Horm Searcher. LaChance trying to curve it in on the glove side. Searcher there to make the play. 2:29 to go in period number 3. It's all Whalers. 4-0. Searcher has often said that Nick LaChance is one of the best offensive players in the league. That was about the first time he got challenged by LaChance today. LaChance has not had much time to turn and fire. That time he was able to get a nifty shot in, try to curving it around the post on the glove side, but Searcher made the play. Whalers got it now down in their offensive end. Clock is ticking as we're approaching the 2-minute mark. Remember, no goalie for the Bootleggers. Great stop there by Dietzel, who stopped the goal. Not really a hard shot, but Dietzel had to be in the right place and make the play, or that one could have gone in. Now we've got a little bit of excitement. John Maroc getting a little excited. Some raised voices as we're having a little disappointment here from both sides, as Maroc and Maudsley having a little discussion about who they're going to vote for on Tuesday. I would think that Maudsley seems to be defending the positive side of Governor Malloy, while Maroc seems to be spouting off of why Malloy should not be governor any longer. So we have an unsportsmanlike conduct. With a minute to go, both players will get a trip to the penalty box. There's 1:54 to play. Bootleggers seem to be showing a little bit of their frustration. Now we've got players yelling, referees yelling back. Might be lucky just to get out of here with 1:54 to go. Ball's put back in play. Here we go. Back to playing some deck hockey. Ball gets chipped into the bench area of the Bootleggers. We got 1:49 to go. Teams are in even strength even though they both have a man in the box. 55 seconds before the timeout for Maudsley and Murak. Ball is dropped. Face off between Frank and LaChance. Ball again pops up into the rafters. So we'll try it again. Only 1:44 to go in the game. The Whalers comfortable 4-0 lead. Herm Sorcher looking to improve his record to 3-2 and to get a nice shutout. He's exactly 104 seconds away from a shutout for the third consecutive time. Ball is dropped and immediately goes out of play, so we'll try it again. 1:41 now left in this game. Frank and LaChance again. This time we get a clean face-off. Ball won by the Whalers. It's Leonardo pushing the action there in front. Remember the extra runner for the Bootleggers. Turnaround shot deflected nicely by Robbie Knipe. Whalers have it in front now. We're going to have a penalty there. Corey Hurth was in front, almost got a chance to get his stick on the ball. And we couldn't. But there was tough play there. John O'Brien preventing the shot by Corey Hurth. Got the penalty. Now he's in the box for a minute. 1:17 to play in the game. Now we have the Bootleggers with two extra runners as they pull the goalie and they have an extra man. Play is getting a little chippy here with 1:10 to play in the third period. We expected a competitive game. Didn't get much of an effort out of the Bootleggers. The Whalers in control pretty much from beginning to end. Sorcher now looking to hold on to the shutout. That's really the only question we have left in this game. We're under a minute, 50 seconds to go. Ball's down again. We're waiting for one clear shot there. I don't know if that got through or not, but no goal. Punch forward. This is going to go just wide. Under 40 seconds to go. Bootleggers have to chase it down. Dietzel pushes it up the right side. Herlihy punches it forward. Hard shot there, deflected nicely by Corey Hurth as he sacrificed his body to keep that ball from going up to the defensive end. This one's pushed forward by Robbie Knipe. Stopped nicely by Dietzel. This is Insero on the bench side. He sends it across. Herlihy shot. Sorcher may have just gotten a piece of it. 10 seconds to go. Sorcher looking for the shutout. He's going to get it. 5, 4, 3, and the final seconds tick away. A game dominated by the Whalers finishes 4-0. Well, a game that we hope to be a competitive one between two of the top teams in this B-Deck League turned out to be a game dominated by the Danbury Whalers. The Whalers' 4-0 victory pushes their record to 4-2, and they now are tied on the point side anyway with the Hartford Whalers. Just remember the Hartford Whalers have played one less game. The Bootleggers, who came into this with a 2-1-1 record and 5 points, could have moved into sole possession of second place, but they never got going. They got shut out for the first time this year, and even though they had beaten the Danbury Whalers in the first game of the season 4-3, they could not get anything generated in this game. Shots dominated by the Danbury Whalers as they had a 2-1 advantage throughout the 3 periods. Shots on goal finished with the Danbury Whalers 44, the Bootleggers 31. Herm Shore with a great game. He had the shutout. And when we come back, we'll give you our 3 stars for tonight's game.
And now for our 3 stars for the evening. The 3rd star goes to goaltender Herm Sorcher.
In the goal, recording the shutout. Great game by Sorcher.
Our 2nd star goes to Robbie Knight.
Robbie, the leading goal scorer in the league, scored one again tonight. He played very well throughout all 3 periods.
And our 1st star goes to John Frank.
John Frank dominated the faceoffs, and he got a goal, which shows why he is leading the league in points. Great game by the Danbury Whalers. They now move into a tie of first place with a record of 4-2 for a total of 8 points. That's going to be it from Hockey Night at PISA, brought to you by Memory to Video Productions and sponsored by JD's Pizzeria Bar and Grill of Southington. They make great pizza, and they have the largest television in the Southington area. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We'll see you then. Have a great night.